Okay, good morning. We are going to do a tutorial. I just wanted to share with you, this was kind of my prototype project. We're going to make this really cute candy bowl box for Halloween, and this is a design team project for Country Craft Creations. I am using Cartabella's Hocus Pocus for our tutorial, but it's really simple. You guys, it's really simple. It takes one sheet of cardstock and a couple sheets of pattern paper and some odds and ends. We're gonna really decorate it up. For my prototype, I just kind of made the box, which you can see it's huge. It will fit quite a bit of candy, okay? So there you go. I got lots of candy in there, and it's all, you know, like, this is really cute. This could be a really cute, like, gift box or something for somebody. You could use it as a candy bowl for Halloween, whatever. But then I also, like, you know, I have this punch that I made this giant doily out of cardstock, and it just, I don't know, I think it looks really cute. I think it's really fun. This would be cute. I think the grandkids would be tickled with it, because I usually give the grandkids, you know, like a really nice goodie bag. So, you know, you could fill it with all kinds of stuff, and let's just go ahead and get started with how to make it. It's really super simple. And, you know, the concept for it is like these fabric boxes that you can make. I'm sure you guys have seen them, where you tie the corners together and it creates a box, but you can untie it and lay it flat. So that's kind of the inspiration for making this. But I did use my explosion board, so let me show you how I did that. Let me get some stuff out of the way here and grab my paper. So again, you will need one piece of 12 by 12 paper. Now, I did use my explosion board because, you know, I wanted to. You don't necessarily have to. And you can make this box like pretty much any size you want. But what I did was, when I was playing with this idea, it was, you know, yet another way to use my explosion board. But I put my 12 by 12 cardstock in here, and I just scored on the medium line, the M line, on all four sides. And basically what that gives you is a 3-inch tall box. So you get a 6 by 6 base and a 3-inch tall box. Okay, so if you want to use your regular scoreboard, then all you have to do is, let me get my regular scoreboard, and I'm going to knock everything around while I'm doing it, and you just put it in here and you score it on the 3-inch line. Okay, so you don't necessarily need your explosion board, but I was just, you know, another way to use it if you wanted to. So you have this. Now the next thing we need to do is we just need to cut the corners off of our board, or off of our, you know, cut the corners off of our paper. So I'm going to grab my straight edge, and I'm going to grab a ruler here, and I'm just going to go around, and from corner to corner, I'm going to cut those off. Okay. Super simple. One piece of 12 by 12 paper. But of course, we're going to make it a little more fancy, and we're going to add some things, because I got excited and I wanted to show you some things. So Halloween's my favorite. I get excited. I love Halloween projects. I do. I love them. Okay. They're my favorite. Okay, so we cut those off. Those are done. So now you have your base. So then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our pattern papers on the base. So I got my inside. This is going to be my outside. We're going to fold and burnish first. Let's just do that. All of our score lines need to be folded and burnished. Like so. Okay. For your box, so you're going to have a 6 by 6 piece here. So you're going to cut your pattern papers. I cut mine at 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. So I used 2 sheets of cardstock to make this whole thing. So, or 2 2 sheets of pattern paper. So I'm going to put a bottom there, and I'm going to use this bottom for underneath. So this is the inside of my box here. And then I want my pumpkin papers to be on the outside, so I'm going to save those. So I cut 4 of these. These are all 5 7/8 by 2 3/8. And then for the inside, I'm just going to stick with the spider webs. So you don't cover the inside triangles for the inside, okay? So we're going to do this, and that's going to be the inside. And then for the outside, we're going to put that on the bottom. We're going to put our pumpkins on, okay, all the way around. And we're going to make sure when you do that, if you have a direction, make sure that when you fold this box up, that your pumpkins are going to be oriented in the proper direction, okay? So then what we're going to do is add, we are going to cover the triangles on the outside. So I did take the spider paper here, which is the back side of the pumpkin paper. So again, it's only 2 pieces of cardstock. And what I did, I'm going to piece this back together, but I cut out 1 single square of that. And then I cut it into 4 pieces. So I hope you can see that. Let me get it straight for you. So I took this right here, 1 square, and this measure, I always grab my ruler wrong. That's so weird. It's 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and then I cut it at the diagonal, okay, to make 2 larger triangles, if I can get that right, like so. And then I cut each of those triangles like so. And that's how you're going to get the corner pieces to cover your outside of your box. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to come back, and then that part will be done, and we'll move on to the next step of this project. I have the inside of this covered. I have the outside of it covered, and it's going to look really adorable, I think. So then the next thing that I did, and this kind of helps with the curve of this, is I'm going to kind of just use my bone folder and just kind of work the corners a little bit so that they curve a little. I don't want them to be creased. I just want them to be curved. So however this works, I think this way worked pretty good. I'm just going to kind of work them a little bit so that they kind of do more of a curve, okay? And it's a little, you know, fussy to do. And they're not going to be perfectly curved, and then you know, but they're going to be a little bit better. I personally didn't want them to be creased once. So I'm just kind of running my bone folder around and just trying to get that crease. So when we do this, they'll kind of stay kind of rounded. Kind of almost like scoring, where you're trying to get it to go the way you want it to go. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So I'm just running that all the way around and just kind of working it so that we get that nice kind of curve, okay? Then the next thing we're going to do, and then this is the reason why I didn't cover this, is because, you know, it's not going to show either, because when you get the box done and you get the corners, you're just going to have that little pop of color there, but you're not really going to see any pattern paper. And I didn't want it too stiff either. Okay, so then I'm going to use my crocodile here, and what we're going to do is we're going to pinch the sides together, and we're going to, and this is a little fiddly, but we're going to, right where that crease is, we're just going to punch, and I'm going to use the smallest hole. So I'm going to go in at about 1/4 of an inch right on that score line, And I'm going to punch a hole. Can you see that? I'm hoping you can see that. So there's the hole right there. Okay? And then that's where we're going to thread our lengths of seam binding in here to close this up. Okay? So let's do that again. I'm going to pinch the sides together, trying to keep my rounded edge here. Okay. And like I said, it can be a little bit fiddly, and you will need to kind of, you know, make sure that your points are good when we get to the final part of this, but we'll pinch that together. And we're going to go in with the smallest hole on your crocodile, about 1/4 inch in on the score, and punch a hole. Okay. So then when you do that, we're going to take our seam binding here and we're going to thread it through the hole. And I'm going to use my tweezers here just to kind of help punch that through. Okay. And I used 12-inch lengths of my seam binding. And then I'm just going to be really careful and tie that in a cute little bow. You can tie it in a knot if you want, but I like the bows. And that's how you get the corners. And then, so just kind of make sure that the corner points are down. All right. Pinch in the score. Okay. Hope that makes sense. You're just kind of molding it now, making sure that we still have our little, you know, kind of loopy loop. And then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing in the other hole. I'll show you one more time, and then I'll do the other two off camera. So I'm putting my seam binding through that one. I'm going to bring this up, seam binding through this hole. It's really a simple project. I'm going to pinch everything together down at the bottom just to make sure that the bottom is pinched together. And my seam binding here, I'm going to try and get it even as I can. And then just gently pull it shut. Eyelets will not, I don't think an eyelet will work through this. It just would be too hard to try and get that in there, so I didn't try it. I think the holes are plenty. The other thing is that if you do it like this, then you can always take these out and fold this guy flat for storage if you wanted to. So there's an option there. Okay, so you got the two things here. So I'm going to go off camera and finish these, and then I will be back and I'll show you what that looks like, and then we'll go to the next step. So pattern paper is on and the sides are folded up and your box is complete. Now you can stop here if you want to. Fill this with candy, fill it with presents. I had images of all kinds of different options for this. This would be a great base for, like, you know, a cellophane bag, you know, inside, and then, you know, tied up in a bow with full of goodies and stuff like that. Great for a candy bowl, great, you know, for a gift. This could be used for, you know, Halloween, for any kind of occasion, but I just think it's super fast, super easy. 1 piece of cardstock, 2 pieces of pattern paper, some seam binding or ribbon, and you're good to go. So then, but, you know, of course, you guys know me. I like to do extra stuff. So I wanted to decorate it. So there's a couple things that I wanted to do. In the sticker collection that comes with this, there were some banner pieces that say Halloween, and I wanted to, like, really kind of decorate this up. So I was like trying to think about how to do this, and this turned out to be super awesome. So again, let's put this to the side for a second. I'm going to lay this down. These are the stickers from the paper collection, and I just put them on a piece of cardstock and then folded them over the orange twine that I did get in my design team package and created a banner out of them. And then in my stash, I had these gold straws. And I was like, because I wanted to try to make a banner, how am I going to do that? So I ended up getting these 2 straws, and it's kind of hard to see. I'm going to show you how I did it, but I poked holes right through it, and then I threaded the twine through and then tied them in a bow. And that's how I created this banner. On the top, I took 2 eyelets from my stash, and I just glued them on the top to kind of finish the tops of the straws. And there you go. So you have this really cute Halloween banner. So let me show you how I did that. I got another gold straw here. I'll show you. Let me get this out of the way. So you will need to have, these are just, you know, paper straws. So anything that you want to get. And then you need a pokey tool of some sort. And what I did was from a 1/2 inch from the top, I just laid this down on my grid and measured, and I just really carefully kind of tried to like drill through there and get it as straight as I could, and then poke it right through. So I didn't try to squish it. I tried to do it real gentle because I wanted to keep the, you know, straw intact. And that's how I did it. And then I just used needle and thread the twine through there. And that's what I did. And then the eyelet, I just put glue and then set it on the top here. It fits perfectly inside there. And that's how I finished the tops, okay? So I hope you can see that. I'm going to just kind of try and get it close so you can see what that looks like. So this turned out like really perfect. So then I was like, how am I going to get them to stand in here? And then if I wanted to tear this apart at some point and, you know, like for storage, how would I do this? So I came up with these little tubes that the straws will fit perfectly inside and hold this up. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do it diagonal because the banner did, let's get this arranged. So if you do it side to side like this, the banner's just, I think it's just too low and I didn't like that. But if I did it side to side, I thought that turned out pretty cute. So for me personally, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue on this little thing. Well, let me show you how to make it first. That would be the smart thing to do, right? So I made 2 of these little tubes, or I'm going to make 2 of these little tubes. So you need a piece of cardstock, a little piece of spare cardstock that is 1 1/4 by 2 3/4. And then I'm just going to score it. Sorry. I'm just going to score it every 1/4 of an inch, okay? So at 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, and 1, okay? And then we're just going to fold and burnish all of our score lines, and then we're just going to glue it together into a tube. That's all we're going to do. So I'm just going to glue that together. So in order to do that, I'm just going to fold one side in, put the glue on, and then I'm going to fold it over in half, okay, and you should have a tube, like so. All right, that's all you do. So then we're going to glue one in each corner on one side only. So I'm only going to put glue on one side of my little tube. And then I'm going to carefully stick this in the corner where these 2 pieces meet, all the way down to the bottom, and I'm just going to hold that there for a second, okay? And that's basically just going to be to hold my straw so that I can put my banner in there, okay? So I'll need one there, and then I'll need one over here, okay? So I'm pinching, what I'm doing is I'm pinching the scores just so I can kind of get a square corner there, and I'm just putting it in there. Now I only glued it on one side because that way if you want to take this apart at some point and fold it flat for storage, you can totally do that. You'll still have this little tube there, but it will fold flat because it's only glued on one side, right? So I was thinking about, you know, how to store this, and I have, you know, some storage envelopes for, you know, pattern paper, and I believe I got them at Hobby Lobby, and they fit 12 by 12 papers just perfectly. So I thought, well, one of those would make a perfect storage envelope for this. So if I want to, you know, when I want to take it apart when Halloween's done and pack it away, I can totally do that. Okay, so now I have my tubes in here. So I'm going to let those dry for just a few minutes, and then we'll put the banner in there, and I'll show you how that's going to look, and it's going to be really cool. I think it's going to be great. While that's drying, so I also got some of the die cuts from the pattern paper, and I created just little backed on gold mirror cardstock, and I thought these would be cute on the sides. So that's an option. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. So while those little tubes are drying, we're just going to glue these down. So I just picked out the ones that I liked. So I picked out these. So Keep Calm and Scare On, Ghosts, Goblins, and Ghouls, Oh My, Bugs and Kisses. And I'm just going to put one on each side. Now, you definitely, you know, don't have to do this. You can decorate this any way you want. You don't even have to, because the pattern paper is so cute that you don't need to. But I thought it would be kind of fun. So I'm doing it. And then that way you can kind of turn this around and have different things. So I'm just gluing those down. And you could get totally crazy. The other thing I thought would be kind of fun for the inside is to get some cheesecloth and put it in there, and then put the candy in there, because then that would kind of like resemble, you know, mummy wrap or whatever. I just think this is a great idea. And then, you know, you could do this for Christmas. You could do this for Thanksgiving. This would be a cute, you know, you don't have to do it as a candy bowl either. You could do it as, you know, a decoration piece as well. So I just thought it was cute. All right, so then let's get this on here. All right. Okay, so now I have my sides decorated with little things from the die cut collection. Thought that was super fun, and it pops because of the gold. Thought that was great. So our little pieces here, we'll let them dry just a little bit more. Let me show you. So then I had some other ideas. So these are not new ideas. These are old ideas that I kind of resurrected, but I wanted to use them in the pattern paper collection. So we have a couple different things here. So this is a folded fry treat container, and you could totally put candies in here. Let me grab some of my candies so I can show you. You know, you could put a couple different things in here, and you could have them for trick or treat. If you're taking them to the office, you know, you can pass them out, but these would be cute. I mean, wouldn't this be cute to stack in here and give as a treat? So on this one here, I used the coordinating cardstock for the paper collection. And then I just took a a clothespin that I had from my stash. I tied a ribbon around it, and then I added one of the die cuts as a decoration. So super sweet to do. This one here is the sour cream treat container. Very easy to make. And I just simply put holes in there, tied the ribbon through to seal it, but you could put candy in here, use one of the die cuts in here to do that. And then here is a little box. So it's kind of like a milk carton box where it opens up and you can put your candy in there. And again, I just used a bulldog clip and clipped that shut. So there you have that. So those are some ideas to fill this up. One of the things, let me see. So I'm going to grab some cardstock and I will be right back. So for the little flat fold fry treat container, I played with sizes because I really wanted to kind of get this down well. So you need a square piece of paper. Now I did an example in 6x6, which you can see is smaller than that. This is the 8x8 example. You can do a 10x10, and the largest I made was a 12x12. So I didn't go in between the sizes, but I did figure this out. So let me show you this particular size, which is an 8x8. So basically, if you unfold your 8x8 piece of paper, first thing you're going to do is fold it into a triangle, okay? And then what I did was I figured out the best measurements, and I scored on this side, so you can see, because I just kind of wrote some notes here, but on one of the corners, you're going to measure for the 8x8 thing, you're going to measure 3 3/8 inch in, 3 3/8 inch in, and 3 3/8 inch down, and then fold that over. That's the next step. So that's going to create this front little triangle here. Let me unclip that. This front piece right here. And theoretically, once you get this done and you fill it with candy, you don't need to use glue or anything, but I did because this paper here was super thick, but I'll show you that in a sec. So first thing you're going to do is take your 8x8 piece of paper, fold it into a triangle. Then you're going to measure 3 3/8 this way, 3 3/8 this way, make tick marks, and then fold this down like that, okay? Then what you're going to do, open that back up, and you're going to fold these triangles over, and you're going to do it just underneath that score line of this triangle here, okay? And just fold those down, burnish them down really well. This goes over the top, and boom, you're done. That's all you have to do. Now, I did add a little bit of glue to glue these down because, again, this paper here made out of the coordinating cardstock was pretty thick, and then I glued this guy down. You can decorate this any way you wish. I just absolutely just did the clip with the die cut, and boom, I was done, and then it's actually quite big. So this is the 8x8. Now, let me go through the sizes here real quick for you. I will also have these in the description, but for the 6x6 square, you will do the tick marks for your triangle at 2 5/8. Okay, and that gives you this cute little teeny tiny one candy bar kind of thing, but it's really super cute. The 8x8, again, you measure down 3 3/8, 3 3/8 to make that fold for the triangle. And then basically when you do that, then you just fold the corners in underneath that score line and you've got your box. So the 10x10, 4 1/4 is the best measurement. So 4 1/4, 4 1/4, make your tick marks, make your score, and then there you go. And for your 12x12, which is the biggest size that you can do, 5 1/8 seemed like the best measurement, and I played with this a lot to make it look really nice and have the triangle, you know, go over the side folds. Makes a humongous box to put candies and things in, so this would be really cute to give out as well. So the measurements will be down below, but that is the flat fold fry box and the sizes that I used to play with. So the next one we're going to do is the sour cream treat container, which I think is kind of fun. And this will hold a lot because it's 6x6 paper, so it will hold several candies in there for sure. And then the closure at the top, I just tied, punched 2 holes, tied a piece of ribbon through it, added a tag, and it's super cute. You untie it, pour your candy out, you can tie it back up. So you don't have to rip it and ruin it and everything, so people could keep it if they wanted to. So it's easier. This was a little complicated because the paper is a little bit heavy. I did use pattern paper for this from the collection. So this is, again, Cartabella's Hocus Pocus. But if you use a thinner piece of paper, it's a little bit easier. So what I'm going to do is put score tape across the top. Make sure I'm in camera here so you can see. So one piece up at the top and one piece down the side. Because I'm going to tie the bow, or you know, want to use the bow tie for this to close it, you only need these 2 pieces. If you want to close both ends, seal both ends with score tape, then put another piece here. That'll make more sense in just a second. All right, so you have 1 top, 1 bottom. What you're going to do is you're going to take your score tape off and you're going to create a tube, okay? So we're going to grab this, take off that, and we're going to carefully try and line this up so that we have a tube. Okay. And then I'm going to just kind of finish it here and then go from the inside and press it all the way down. Okay, so now you have your tube. And then I'm going to grab this. I'm going to take this off and you're going to close the tube. So I'm going to kind of position the folds of this like kind of off to the side just a little bit and close it down. Okay. And then that creates the first part of the closure. And if you're off just a little bit here, you can always take your scissors and just trim that off. Nobody's ever going to know. So then you're just going to close this in the opposite direction. And this is where I'm going to just pinch a little bit to keep it. So you have your top that'll be flat, but then you have your bottom here and you turn it like that. So there you go. And then you just punch your holes and thread your ribbon through and boom, you're done. Add your tag. That's pretty much it. If you want to seal this, then again, you can always, you know, throw some score tape in there, or you could even use glue. I can do that. And then that way it is completely sealed. And then when your, you know, recipient gets it, then they just rip it open and pour the candy out. So however you want to do that, but that's how you make the sour cream containers. And then this little guy here, this is a really cute little box. It's kind of along the styles of a milk box. So to make this box, which is 2 inches by 2 inches, and it is 4 inches tall, we're going to need a piece of paper that is 8.5 by 5 1/4. Okay, 8.5 by 5 1/4. You're going to score at 2, 4, 6, and 8. Okay, on the 8.5 side, score at 2, 4, 6, and 8. Then turn it around, and then you're going to score at 1 1/4. Okay, and that's it. That's all the scoring you need to do. Then what we're going to do is we're going to make a few cuts. So we're going to the 1/2 inch tab, we're going to cut that and miter it. And then the bottom 1/2 inch tab, we're going to cut off and we're going to cut it straight, pretty straight. Okay, so you should have a piece like that. And then we're going to cut up the bottom score lines just to the score lines. So you're cutting up through the 1 1/4 piece here, like so. Okay, and that's all you're going to do. So you should have all these little tabs. You don't need to miter them. We don't need to do that for this particular project. Okay, so what this is going to do, if we fold and burnish everything, is just create a very simple box. Okay, and let's see, when we fold and burnish, let's just make sure everything's straight, you know, for the tabs. Make sure that nothing hangs over the sides because the score line sometimes will do that. So I'm just kind of making sure that everything's square. Okay, then what you're going to do is you're just going to glue this into a box. Now the other thing that I'm going to do, so you know, obviously the tab here is going to be the back of the box. These are going to be the sides. They're going to poke in. So I'm going to go back in my scoreboard. And so for the first, this one here, let's see, let's turn it over here. So the one closest to the 1/2 inch tab, I'm just going to put a little tick mark right in the middle. Okay, so they're 2 inches wide, so I'm just going to put a little tick mark at the 1 inch mark in between the two. Okay, So if you turn this like that and make it true 2 inches, that's where you're gonna do it. And then you're gonna skip this one, and on this one, do the same thing. That's just gonna help us kind of fold it in a little bit. I'm just gonna make just a little score tick kind of thing. All right, so then we're gonna fold our box together. So I'm just gonna put glue on this tab, this 1/2 inch tab, and I'm gonna fold it over and complete our box here, like so. Okay, so now we have our box. We're gonna fold all these guys in and glue them together. So let's see, where's my back of my box? There's my back of my box. So I'm gonna fold the sides in first, just because I want to. And then that way the front and the back have a nice fold. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue here, because they will, let me show you. Just fold down like that, okay? And then I'm gonna put glue here. And that'll go like so. And like so. And then you can kind of square that up, push it down, and then I'm going to use my little pressy tool here down in the bottom and make sure that it's stuck down. Okay, like so. All right, so we have our box. And then all you have to do is kind of just push in the sides. Your little score marks will help. And voila, you are done. So then all you need to do is, excuse my reach here, grab a clip or punch holes, tie a ribbon through, and you have this cute little box that you can fill with candy. So that's how you make this. I think that's it. So let's put this stuff off to the side. So those are the 3 like little treat containers that I made. So we have our box, it's decorated. We've got our seam binding tied through. You can totally decorate and do all kinds of stuff with this, definitely. And we also have our little tubes, one in opposite corners. We have our banner here. I'm just gonna stick my straws in my banner holders. And voila. Let me see if I can get this to the side. Is that not cute or what? So that just will stand up just perfect. And then you can take your little treat containers and you can put them in here and be ready for your Halloween. Be ready to give your gifts. There it is. So this is my tutorial for my explosion board candy bowl. And I just think that this has turned out to be a cute idea, utilizing some stickers and some fun elements to make a really amazing gift. And again, it's one that you can take apart. And if you take apart your bows, it'll lay flat. Your little pieces that you did your tubes for your banner will fold flat, and then you can grab, let me grab one and I'll show you what I was talking about. This is what I was talking about. So I think I got these at Hobby Lobby, but this would be perfect when you lay all this flat to just put it in here and then you have it for storage. So all of these things will fit in there. Your little banner will fold flat. It will fit in there, and then you can use it next year and you don't have this kind of 3D thing, you know, to try and store. It'll store nice and flat in your decorations. So that's my project. I hope you had a good time with it. Please let me know if you have any questions about it. Yeah, I just think it was fun and I had a good time making it. I had all these images of my grandkids just loving this. So thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you again soon with more tutorials. Happy Halloween, everybody. Bye-bye.